Good evening and welcome to another edition of Tok Piksa. Leh City in the Morabeh province has been carrying a battered image caused by its extremely high crime rate. This year, Leh police recorded a steady increase in the number of rape and murder cases and ethnic clashes happening in the city's outer suburbs. While the city is growing into an industrial hub of Papua New Guinea, its law and order problems are also expected to become a serious concern. Leh police have been struggling to stem the problem, but their efforts haven't helped in any big way. In this Tok Piksa special, we take a look at the possible causes of ethnic clashes, killings and rapes that have happened in Leh to date. But first, let's look at some of the big stories that made headlines in Leh over the past 12 months. Edwin Fidelis reports from Leh.
In May last year, the rape of an Engau nurse triggered the closure of the city's biggest hospital. It comes amongst a series of rape cases that had happened in Leh in a span of less than a month. A few months later, Pastor Michael Kewa, a trainee Lutheran pastor, was stabbed and then thrown out of a moving bus owned by a Western Islander along the Bumayong Back Road area. His death sparked a protest by Morabians calling on the provincial government to withdraw all buses owned by Western Highlanders. 6 months ago, 8 foreign tourists and 7 local porters were brutally attacked along the Black Cat Trail between Salamaua and Wau. These attacks had not only rendered the PNG's tourism industry hostile, but also attracted international condemnation on Papua New Guinea. These stories and pictures only give a snapshot of Leh's law and order problem that has plagued the province for more than a decade. Over the last 3 years, Leh has seen evidences of economic boom. The country's second largest city will be the home of PNG's economic activities. But while businesses are poised to expand in Leh, there are disadvantages that come with it, and much of it is now becoming evident. Leh is not only a city owned by Morabians, it's a city that has become a home to a multitude of people with different cultures and ethnicities from all over Papua New Guinea. Many flocked into Leh in search for better lives they can't find in their villages, and during a short while, the city has already begun to see a steady increase in the number of illegal settlements, and the problems that come with it are sometimes disastrous. About 2 weeks ago, an ethnic clash broke out between the Simbus and the Kabums at the Limki settlement on the outer suburb of Leh City.
More than 490 man Mary Pikinini Mipla affected. Now all get all school Pikinini now all in a go long school because housey paya all get something emi paya.
More than 40 houses were burned and men, women and children were displaced during the attack.
Now me tanim peken los lahab mi ka mi pla go sit down lo house ya mi no sini mi tulai live lo mi na mi tintin plantis tere. Mi ba kare ka kop lo mi na go be online lo mi rusmol na mi ka mi. Mi to ko sem na mi karalo night.
All get up belongings lo mi pla and fire na go down.
On the other end of the province in Bulolo, similar ethnic tension happened in December last year between the Watut and the Goilala settlers that forced the closure of Bulolo Township for more than a month.
Mipla thing in life na mipla rono more man and more go. Mipla Mary picking into sampla picking sampla mama and more picking in all nothing picking in I'm stop almost 2-3 days. All find him no one map all stop lem and more kissy more come back.
Ethnic tension is not new to Leh City, and the other districts in the province. While many people blame the police for not providing adequate policing in the city, the police say it's a result of the growing number of illegal settlements in the city. The head of the Lay's Metropolitan Command, Ivan Lakatani, said the police have done all they can to maintain law and order in the city, but were not able to stem the problem in any big way.
In Leh, there's this heavy consumption of homebrew, smoking of marijuana. Marijuana is easily transported, especially from highlands down to Leh, and it's also grown in here. So these are the main contributing factors towards all these problems that are happening in Leh City.
On various occasions, Mr. Lakatani admitted that there is a shortage of manpower and resources within the city's police force, and with the large influx of people coming into the city, police officers on the ground have been overstretched when trying to combat crimes.
It's attributed to various factors. Human resource or manpower is one factor that is also contributing because of not sufficient presence of police personnel, everywhere at any one time. And people are taking advantage of where their opportunity is, where there is lack of police presence, not because of the reason that the police doesn't want to go there, but because of the number of manpower that we have. It's not enough to deploy them everywhere, all at the same time. So there will be some areas that are uncovered or that will lack a police presence, and criminals are as intelligent as anybody else, and they are looking for such opportunities. When there is lack of police presence, that's when, and they see the opportunity there, they will do whatever that they want to do, especially committing criminal offenses.
Leh has been the center of attention. At an average, 2 people are severely injured or killed, and 1 woman is raped every week, while ethnic tensions happens at least once every month. The rape and murder cases and ethnic clashes committed in Leh this year and last year were not the first, and they won't be the last. While many level the blame against the absence of law and order, others say it's a result of a deeply rooted problem that lingers on a growing society of a multicultural people.
Look, go back to the line, work logo, same fight, when they meet all mangi blom dollar society. Plenty blow, all unemployed. All no work money, all stop nothing there, non-tax payment or payers.
Me probably not supposed to go back. Since early days na come on top, warrior man cleaning the place, me probably stop here all our lifetime. Grow up in here, we are here to stay. Me probably no prepare to move from one place, no God.
A problem that stretches to lack of education and job opportunities for young people, broken families, and the extremely high cost of living in the city. The way Leh has been moving in terms of its law and order problems had sparked a public outcry. The national outcry, which was formulated in Leh last year, rippled to other provinces as well. Most women spoke out a mental list of things that they think should have been done to address some of these law and order problems.
Issue in Leh, Morobe province, Papua New Guinea, it is a global issue.
Amongst them was the call for the capital punishment to deal with serious offenders. A few weeks later, following the national outcry campaign, the national government gave the nod, endorsing death penalty as a criminal law, and those who were tried guilty in court on rape, murder and other serious offences may face the death penalty. It's a move of highest degree taken by the national government to contain PNG's crime problem that appears to be spiraling out of control. But that hasn't helped in any big way ever since.
We're living in a society where we cannot walk free. Since the national house cry, I don't think things have gotten better, because only last 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, there was a 5-year-old apparently pecked, raped in Port Moresby. So all of these things are not on.
The level of crime happening in Lae has outnumbered the number of police strength, and in many of those crimes committed, only a few are brought to justice. Sem Ghani is a local village court magistrate at the RE local level government in Lae. Since taking up his post as a village court magistrate 5 years ago, he is concerned about how PNG criminal laws are being imposed to punish lawbreakers. He says what that has been a worry for many people is the bell call money or compensation money, a system of solving disputes out of the formal court system.
Bell call money. Bell call money and plenty all man marina lo country. Sometime all heavy come up, especially like Tok Rate, Tok Mera, Tok Asian, all that kind of all man like in bell call money. So same time I'm suspect ball kisim not put in long custody of the police, but outside of the negotiate of bell call money, net time bell call money come up. Only kisim finish now, I miss have a baraping system of court. But you must understand most in bell call money. I'm something long. No good AV come up outside. No sit down both sides. The family belong all come up maybe na online usah kisim bagara. But belong court process. Usah all man or suspects still below must taking course. One in penalty ball kisim all must kisim yet.
Crimes committed against both men and women most of the times go unpunished. The problems are solved out of courts through compensation payments, and for the most allow offenders to go free. And Sam says this continuing trend has rendered PNG's criminal laws ineffective.
Said now long all communities, now village, and plenty true. I mean, those kind of 95% them all making Islam. The time all working peace all talk all village elders na all leaders want them long church or the woman all come talk. Me pastor the finish or money no can calabus. So this is come a big true. Na league line through all penalty. Lo calabus. Me to finish the kind of 95% them all money start long straight outside na come rosiman. Instead of satu lo system tu yang plenty only work long our maximum all this. Only suppose long talk straight one them lo ito pun. Kind of which long court. Long police, all this kind. So at least 95% now only work long strong on this land now all go in planting man. Also because heavy work long big to more because money come can travel I'm killing man. Let me cookie mouse money go down rape and pay me let me go out tomorrow. Now same man but committing again na can be then.
He says out of about 22 cases he presides over at the village court every week, at least 4 are withdrawn and are resolved out of court before formal charges are laid against the offenders. It's a problem that isn't only happening in Lae, but everywhere else in the country. He says although those in authority are aware of this new trend, it might not be an easy task to solve this problem, especially in places like Lae, where it's dominated by different people.
I mean, the people that need to be involved as well, provincial law and order committee, there are various ward committees, law and order committees. These are the people who are supposed to be, taking the lead in addressing this issue. If they take the lead and start doing a lot more awareness on the consequences of this, then obviously we'll have less of it.
In settlements in Lae, when a trouble is committed, there are always people who knows the troublemakers. And with the strong cultural bond in these settlements, ending troublemakers to police requires a great deal of choice, especially when it comes to ending one of their own.
Lay's law and order problem is not only a social issue, it has now become a political concern for Morabian politicians. The police say it's a problem that resulted from Lay's unprecedented settlement growth in the city. Community leaders have long been calling on the Morobe provincial government to evict illegal settlers residing in the city's suburbs. In effect, only recently, Lay City will be seeing numerous evictions of illegal settlements in the city over the next few weeks. The deployment of 13 AFP police personnel in Lay in December last year, and the use of the biometric system is expected to be one of the stepping stones towards fighting Lay's law and order problems. These were some of the positive moves taken by police as well as the provincial government in the battle against law and order problems in the city. But the question of whether or not it will solve Lay's law and order problems overall still remains.
This is where more than 100 families used to live. They came and settled here after they were displaced following a previous ethnic tension in the Kamkumung area in 2012. 2 weeks ago, they were evicted after a court case ordered for their immediate removal from this area owned by the Polytechnic Institute.
I'm James Blow, Yalibu, South Islands. Mr. Minnesota, Mama CS Mr. Player. Minnesota one map and Mr. Player. One year become Mr. Player. So, Minnesota is more making Sasanya and Minakilia. So, Black Arab no good soul and Modosim plan. Our son property staff in China, cooking plan a blowout. And Sunny staff in China, our son will lose in the Gamma.
Well, in terms of criminal activities, yes. There's so many settlements around, and a lot of these people who are involved in these criminal activities, people coming out of the settlements. They're compelled by situations to be involved in such activities. The conditions and the general services or basic services that they're supposed to have, things like water, electricity, proper sanitation, they don't have this, and at the same time, what they are feeding on is not to the satisfaction of everybody else in there. So they need to find ways and means to make ends meet, to support whoever is in that house. So that's why these situations force them into doing all these activities, basically just to make ends meet.
Statistics of horrific crimes provided so far are of those made available by the Lay Police and of those reported on other media. Many more go unreported. It's a big challenge facing political leaders of the province. Lujaya Koja, as the member for Lay, she is facing a big challenge that had forced her to make critical decisions that may have an influential impact on Lay's law and order problems.
More people from one ethnic area inside Lodisla, customary land areas that we have, especially so 17 wards below ILLG. We've got unplanned areas of customary land. People have just come in, or come sit down, or make a house, like blow, inoga road, inoga water supply, inoga power go inside. So all man come, it's like, everybody and anybody rush, land grab, sinan lohap, and the more numbers that you have from your ethnic area, you think osem, you take over lo, papa ground too, you take over lo, morobe too, you come up osem, me olim number, and you can muscle your way in.
Ms. Koza introduced the biometric system that will be used in the city. Personal details and other data will be collected, but most importantly, the system will keep record of almost everybody living in Lay City.
And the loose particles hang up about, flying fox about coming and causing these ethnic problems, violence problems in the community. We will still count you, but we'll tag you in our counting. So that by the end of it, we take assessment of how many people have been tagged, where is the majority ethnic area that they belong to, province, district that they belong to.
Residents of Lay City.
For the governor of the province, Kelinaru, he has a backlog of similar problems to deal with. and it hasn't been an easy task to satisfy a diverse set of people with different cultures and ethnicities living in one big city.
Residents of Leh City and the community have just about had enough of their unruly, uncivilized behavior. I'm appealing to them to refrain from their illegal activities and improper and uncivilized conduct and behavior.
Bien sit down, but me sit down also. When me like him, only that man come stop him this life.
But bit by bit, the provincial authorities are planning countermeasures to tackle the growing law and order problems. The deployment of the 13 Australian federal police personnel into the Morobe province was aimed at cutting down the level of crime committed in the city by upskilling local police personnel on how to handle law and order situations.
Much of it is focused on the advisory capacity and especially helping our investigations, prosecution and station management in terms of supervision. Those are the areas that they're currently focusing on.
Also, the rollout of the new biometric system in the city and the eviction exercises in illegal settlements is expected to change Leh's law and order problems.
Through this biometric registration program, we'll be able to zero in on our customary land areas especially and see where people have a house of their own, only buy this ground, only sanapi mouse blow, what is their immediate family there sitting in that house, and being able to identify that you belong to Leh, we want to take ownership of you, we want to look after you. If you have a house, you're sitting on land that is in the right place, whether state or customary, and we can provide services for you, you belong.
But for the Leh police, meanwhile, they know the fight against crime is a battle that they will have to continue to fight with the limited resources they have in order to contain the ills of the society.
The problem of ethnic clashes was a problem that existed during the term of then Minister for Community Development, Dame Carol Kiddu. Dame Kiddu proposed to approach the problem by planning settlements not by regional and ethnic groupings. This, she said, would be one way of proactively integrating people as Papua New Guineans and not by ethnic groupings when planning settlements. We hope the current administration takes up this cause without delay. Until next time, good night.